and snap your fingers, then you lean back. All out of state, on the day they never seen that. Ain't back, throw and snap your fingers, then you lean back.
Hello and welcome back to Viti Vibes TV, your only show, and it's your show for the Fijian youth. If you'd like to be a part of the show, please let us know by calling us in the number at our ending credits. I'm your host, Shannon, and today we're broadcasting from the unceded territories of the Kwantlen, Silvertooth, and Squamish nations. We're very grateful for the first people of this land to let us share their sacred land and territories with us non-Indigenous people. February is Heart and Stroke Month. Learn more about stroke science and take first aid courses that are available everywhere, so that if you know someone who is having a stroke, you can save their life. Or go to Heart and Stroke website to learn more. February is Black History Month, so attend events or lectures put on by Black activists to learn more about Black history, their struggles and achievements to Canadian society. As Fijians, we are also an ethnic minority, so it's important to stand as allies to other ethnic minorities in our community. No show is complete without the support of our sponsors, so if you'd like to sponsor this show or know anyone else that would like to, you can also contact us at the number in our ending credits. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Arvind's Curry and Cocktail, Indian cuisine. They do catering for all occasions and they do free delivery. Please call 604-515-1070. Address is 420 6th Street, New Westminster. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. For deliveries, call 604-515-1070 or arvindscurry.com.
Bollywood Banquet Hall and Conference Center, located at Pile Business Center at 201-8166 128th Street in Surrey. No celebration is too small to accommodate you. They have newly renovated 2 halls to serve you, up to 1,000 guest capacity, top-notch chefs to delight you with delectable and heavenly cuisine. So just call Bollywood Banquet Hall at 604-598-2700 for your events.
Benisi Mobile Detailing Services. They offer commercial trucks, cars, SUV, boats, bikes, RVs, and much more. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859 and they will do all kind of services at your home.
Now we have an interview and talking about career development for youth. So please have a look. If you'd like to have a guest, or if you'd like to be a guest on this show, you could also call us and let us know. Hello and welcome back to Viti Vibes TV. I'm your director and host, Shannon Pramil, and thanks for sticking around with us yet another week. You can catch all new episodes of Viti Vibes on the Shaw Multicultural channel on Thursdays at 10 p.m. or on Sundays at 4:30 p.m. You can also stay tuned with us on our social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Viti Vibes TV, or you can watch past episodes of Viti Vibes on our YouTube channel, which is at Viti Vibes. With that being said, today I'm joined by none other than my incredible host, Shivani Naiker. So hello, Shivani. So today we're going to be talking about careers because National Fun at Work Day was last week on the 27th. And with that being said, I know with youth, and one question that I get a lot from people that reach out to us over social media and just kind of like leave their thoughts and opinions and future topics, they always talk about like careers and like the jobs, and people would always ask us about like our careers and stuff as well. So with that being said, we're here to talk about it at your request. So today we're talking about career development as youth, and I feel like as youth, especially like younger high school students, for example, finding a job is hard. Like, it is not easy, especially in a competitive like state that we are in, like for looking for jobs. It could be hard. and especially figuring out what you want to do with your career in the future and looking forward to it. What do you do? It is very overwhelming at times, and I'm sure we can speak on our experiences as well, and maybe you guys can relate as well to some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So with that being said, Shivagni, how was your experience finding a job? Because you've recently had to like go through like the interviewing process and stuff, right? For finding a job.
I had to go through, so I got my job in 2019, May of 2019, and the process for that was I just had to, I mean, nowadays you need to have connections to get a certain job. And for me, like, luckily I had, like, like, my aunt was a manager where I work. So, she got me a job in her department. And the interview, like, for normally, if you're trying to apply to where I work, you have to do, like, an online survey and, like, an online application for it. And I still did that, but I had to do, like, an in-person interview. But the interview was just me knowing, like, me getting the information of what I need to wear, what I need to do, type of thing, like, type of shoes I need to have, stuff like that. Yeah.
How hard do you think it was for you to find a job?
Oh, it was so hard. Because I was still in high school, 1, 2, my resume wasn't that,
extensive.
Good. Yeah, extensive. But, and I was trying to find something close to my school, so it was easy for me to commute as well.
Yeah.
So even that was a little harder. And, but like, and now, like, when I was trying to look for a job, not everybody would want a high school student that doesn't know anything. They want someone experienced in a field of work. But it's just like, and like some jobs, you need a certain certification as well. And it's just like, wow, like that just minimizes my like opportunities, right? So it's just like, damn, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, no, and see, that's the issue. And I like that you talked about like having connections because it does help. Obviously, it is about what you do know, but it's also about what the people that you know as well, right? And that's something we're going to talk a little bit more about later with this whole topic. But yeah, finding a job as a kid, the one thing that you also touched on was that you need experience before to be able to get some good jobs and to maximize your opportunities. However, the problem here is that kids don't have a lot of experience because at such a young age, where are you going to get the experience from? Especially when you're looking for your first job too, right? Because even for me, straight in high school, I honestly, personally, I never had to look for a job. I was just always pretty lucky where I had my first job I got through my career counselor, who recommended me to just kind of apply for it, and I just did and got it, so I ended up rolling with it. But like finding a first job, for example, like had I have had to like look out for a job for myself, like where would I go? Like I wouldn't know. 1, 2, everyone's asking for experience and like all these things. Where do you get experience from if you don't have a job? It's your first job. Where do you get the experience? Like, give me the job so that I can get the experience, right? But a lot of people, they need some sort of background with it, right? Yeah. So, before we dive into all of that, let's talk about what the most in-demand jobs are. Because I know for youth, it can be kind of hard to think about, like, what do you want to do with your career? Where do you want to take it? And sometimes when you want to think about it, like, what's going to really help me thrive in the long term, right? What's good for my future? So, I did the research for you, so you don't have to. But according to Adobe, they did like based off LinkedIn jobs profiles and what was most in demand as of 2022. So for the year of 2022, the most in demand jobs, one was a data science specialist. So they analyze and they manage data while finding actionable insights or trends. So that's one. There was specialized engineers who develop software, computer systems, applications, or websites. User experience professionals. So this one, I even didn't know exactly what it was, but these people design digital and physical products that provide the best possible user interaction. So this could be like a product designer, user experience researcher, something like that. Then there was experts in workplace diversity. That's an in-demand job. Because I feel like now workplaces want to become like diverse and inclusive, which is good, right? And they need people to try and do this for them. So there's like diversity managers, diversity officers, things of that nature. Digital content creators. This one was no surprise to me because in this day and age, in this era, obviously social media is such a important thing and is very prevalent in becoming a successful business, especially, right? Like you could use social media to your advantage 100%. So you need to have digital content creators who are going to be able to make your business or brand or whatever it is, your company, successful through that marketing. Which leads me into my next one, digital marketing professionals. That is also very in demand as of 2022. Business development and sales professionals. So they are specifically playing a role in boosting the growth or revenue of a company by selling products and identifying strategic expansion opportunities. Education professionals. So obviously this could be like teaching assistants, elementary school teachers, high school teachers, things of the wide range of educators. Mental health specialists are very high in demand. And I could also vouch for this because when you think about mental health services, there's such a backlog too, right? So because there's not many people who are trained and by profession like psychiatrists or things of that nature, there's such a backlog. So it is very high in demand to have mental health specialists as well. And of course, professional and personal coaches. Yeah, so anyone with clients that want to establish a process of inspiring them or something of that nature. But yeah, those are the most in-demand jobs for 2022, according to this research. But yeah, did you expect like some of them or?
I mean, the content creator one, it was like a no-brainer because nowadays everything is on social media.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Everything goes off of it. Like nowadays for a job, normally you'll go and hand in your resume, but everything's online. Online applications, online surveys, online. And it's just like, wow, if you don't have online, what are you supposed to do? Kind of thing. So yeah, the content one wasn't that surprising for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that leads me into like, what skills do you need to have in this day and age? And like you said, having or being fluent in like computer technology.
Yeah.
Being able to know how to use it for one, understand it, and just for depending on what work you're doing, like how proficient you are in using technology. And obviously digital content creating, you have to be pretty proficient in that. But yeah, like obviously things like to do with like computer, like online tech savvy stuff are definitely high in demand. And a lot of it, like when I was looking at the research, it's showing like more like data-based, like having to also analyze data and figure out ways to boost growth with your company, organization, whoever you're working for, right? But yeah, those were some of the things. So if you didn't know what you wanted to do, like those are maybe some suggestions, some ideas, light bulbs might be popping up, I don't know. But because I know the hardest thing is trying to figure out what you want to do with your career as a kid. Because I know Planning 10 here in BC, a part of your curriculum is to take Careers 10, right? Yeah. Or Planning 10 or whatever it is called now. It's been a while since I was in it. Or but like honestly,
work experience.
Yeah, so that class doesn't prepare you for what you actually want to do in the future because in grade 10 versus by the time you graduate and then by the time you're actually in school studying, things change.
Yeah.
You realize something you start off with isn't what you want to do anymore. But yeah, it's just a whole roller coaster of trying to figure it out. And that's totally okay for the record. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about skills. Because for young people, it's all about what you need to know to be able to get you into a better position to get a job, right? So, one, you need to gain experience. Yeah. But how do you gain experience?
I guess for youth that don't have a job yet, volunteering in like a specific field is a pretty good way to start to gain experience. Like that's how so my first plan was to go into teaching, high school teaching, especially PE. But now when I'm actually going to school, I'm like, you know what, I'll just get my diploma instead. So for me to go into that type of like career or like sort of finding, because I was having trouble finding a job in that type of field. So I was like, okay, fine, if I have a job somewhere else but still go into that career, that's okay. So I would start volunteering with my PE department. I did basically every single leadership class that was existing in my high school curriculum. I did that, and then I started doing outside volunteering to Temple, and then I started doing volunteering with you, and then now I'm in an organization with you. So I guess like volunteering is the best way to start for everybody.
And I will always vouch for that too.
Yes.
If any returning viewers that have heard me on past episodes, volunteering is the best thing for your mental, for your professional endeavors, for your academic endeavors, for character development. Like it's
amazing.
Yeah. It could do so many favors for yourself and for whoever is on the receiving end for your charitable work.
If you're like a really, really shy person, it'll get you out of your box, out of your safe zone.
Yeah.
And like let you help interact with other people.
Yeah, no, and 100%. And I like that you brought up volunteering as one of the things that you could do to gain experience, because if you, say, for example, want to become a nurse, one of the better ways to get, because obviously you're not going to just straight up become a nurse and be offered a job and get that without like much experience, right? But volunteering at like a senior home, like with elderly people, or like volunteering at hospitals, right?
The organizations they have there.
Yeah, or like a nonprofit that like works towards like a medical condition or something like that, right?
We have a lot of those here.
Yeah, no. So doing something of that nature, volunteering in a field like that, specific to something you might like want to do in the future, definitely beneficial. Other than that, seeking internship opportunities too, because as students, you can find opportunities that, like, for example, like companies and businesses, sometimes they look for students to intern for them, whether it be like just doing like the admin work or whatever, but at least you're in that environment, right? Doesn't matter what you're really doing. Sometimes they just make you do like the work that nobody really wants to do. But you're still in that work environment. You see what's going on, and then you can gain an idea of what kind of happens, what opportunities there are, and kind of just navigate your way throughout like that. But yeah, those are two of the ways. Obviously, like if you also go into your school's career centers, or if you're in post-secondary and just want to talk to your professors, for example, like you can find out so much more about like different opportunities that are happening. Googling is also 100% like a thing, where you can find different opportunities, Indeed.com. There you go. But when it comes to skills as well, so another thing that you need to know when going into finding a job is having the right skill set. So working on your skill set is super important. But what skills do you need and what is relevant? So you need to also think about what are relevant skills that you need. For example, like the list of 2022 most in-demand jobs that I just read out. What was the most common skills that were in there, like amongst all the jobs? There's like being able to be adaptive, being creative, analyzing trends, or being able to notice patterns, right? And things of that nature. But most importantly, you need to have hard skills and soft skills. Do you know what the difference is between the two?
I think so. Here. I mean, I learned about it, but I just don't remember what it is.
So, but you're familiar with the term.
I'm familiar with it.
So for those that don't know, hard skills and soft skills. So it's a trick question. Sometimes people think like, which one's more important to have? Actually, you need both. A good balance is what you need. Always balance. But a hard skill is basically something that you learn. You can learn it through education, whatever it may be, something like a hard skill. That's like something you could actually do. So for example, of a hard skill, this could be like knowing a foreign language, learning how to manage like certain programs or softwares, being able to be proficient in that, copywriting, editing, proofreading, just generally like looking over things. There's a lot of different like hard skills to have, like being able to like work in like certain fields. Like they'll require certain skills, like for example, like if you're a doctor, like and you want to become a surgeon, you're gonna need to know like the different parts of the body and like what does what, right? Like those are hard skills that you learn through education. A soft skill is more in a sense like a concept that has different defining features of it. So these are traits and abilities. So these are traits and abilities that you develop throughout life. And soft skills speak to how and why you're motivated for certain things. So soft skills are more so like problem solving and adaptivity. Adaptation, yeah. Making words up now. Creativity or analyzing and willingness to learn, leadership, right? They're more like a little bit more abstract, right? Because when you talk about leadership, what's leadership, right? There's more defining features of leadership, right?
Yeah.
So that those are what soft skills are. Some other things that can include organization, dependability, work ethic, teamwork, time management, and decision making. Those are some soft skills. You need a little bit of both. When you are thinking about like, okay, how do I make myself more potential to gain jobs? You need to work on both of these things. So for when you're looking in jobs, look at the job profiles. What do you need to know? What should you know? And work on them. Whether it be like, okay, let me find a volunteer opportunity where I could work on this. Or even through other activities in life. How are you developing these skills, right? Or make that a goal. How do I develop this one skill that I may be lacking in or not as proficient in? But that's definitely a thing to note. Another one, networking. Networking is super important, and I know we brought this up earlier. Networking is definitely beneficial to being able to finding jobs and opportunities. So how do you network? Do you want to quickly throw in your ideas?
Networking, I guess, like going to
job fairs.
Yeah. Like if we have job fairs around, going to those. I think in high school they have like career fairs.
Mm-hmm.
Going to those as well, and you can get network with one of like the coordinators from each university. Mm-hmm. They'll give you like an idea of how to go through something, mm-hmm. or like. Sometimes if you go into the career center at your high school, they'll have like my high school had like a bulletin board, mm-hmm. outside of the career center, and they'll have like posters posted and something like that. Mm-hmm. You know, try to get networking there about like events of networking.
Yeah, and there are events that do exist around town that you can go to as well. Whether it just be to even just say hi or just to kind of sit there in the background and just see what's kind of going on. No one's saying you have to go up to a person and be like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh my gosh, like I don't know, like. That's one way to do it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's just putting yourself in those situations and those type of places where you can learn just by sitting back. For example, we are actually planning a youth business conference that will be happening come April, tentatively April 2nd. We'll give you more details about that as they arise, but you can expect networking opportunities, job opportunities with mentors and meeting other youth and working on skills to become more, gain your potential in gaining a job. Yeah. But yeah, we will give you more information once that arises. But with that being said, we are running out of time, and I know I can keep offering advice, and we have had career coaches come on this show as well in the past. If you haven't seen those episodes, again, check those out on our YouTube channel at Viti Vibes TV, and you can check out those as well. But with that being said, if you guys want us to talk a little bit more about this, let us know. And also let us know if you end up using any of our tips and tricks with finding your job. With that being said, we're wrapping up this episode for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. Now we have some announcements that you may be interested in participating in. So have your pen and papers ready. PIC's Mega Job Fair on February 8th at Italian Cultural Centre in Vancouver. The address is 2075 Slocan Street in Vancouver. There will be over 100 plus exhibitions to draw in thousands of job seekers from all over the Lower Mainland. For more information, you can call Lily Durdrell at 604-596-7722. And the extension is 331. Food Drive, Chicken Chop Suey Food Drive is on Saturday, February 4th, and this is from 12 noon until 4 p.m. The address is 8474 116 A Street in Delta. The cost is only $10 per serving, and all the proceeds will be going towards Fijian girls soccer team to Fiji in July 2023. For donations or more information, please contact Ronald at 604-789-8885. The countdown to March 3 to 5th, 2023 Rugby Sevens. There will be 60,000 fans, 352 players, and 28 teams, and a 3-day event. This is an epic weekend, so reserve your tickets now by going on to tickets at canadasevens.com. The Canadian Empowered Women of Fiji Foundation is presenting their fundraising event for Canadian Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada for their Valentine's Dinner and Dance. This is taking place on February 11th at 6:30 p.m. at Kana Banquet Hall in Surrey. Tickets are only $40 per person, and and more information, you can reach out to 604-825-8261, or you could also contact 604-831-0240. We ran out of time for today, but I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did bringing it to you. If you missed our show today, you could always watch it on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. in BC and 5:30 in Alberta time. No show is complete without your support, so please, if you want to sponsor one of our shows, you can reach out to us. And you can call Camilla at 604-537-5123. Don't forget to watch Fiji in Focus also on Tuesdays at 10 p.m., Thursdays at 2:30 p.m., and Sundays at 4 p.m. Asian Pulse TV on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m., Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m., as well as the Camilla Singh Talk Show on Mondays at 10 a.m. and repeat on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. All of our shows are uploaded onto YouTube channel as well, so please like, share, and subscribe. Before I leave, I will leave you here with these thoughts. The more you feed your mind with positive thoughts, the more you can attract great things into your life. The author's unknown. But with that, have a wonderful day and a great weekend. I'm your host, Shannon Pamal, signing off.
Ain't fat, double shot your fingers, then you lean back. All out of state, going to get that, never seen that. Ain't fat, double shot your fingers, then you